So do you really want to work wireless, but you don't want to get a new machine or a pen because you just like the machines that you have? Well, I got the solution for you, so stay tuned and I'll show you. So I've got this little package here from Ambition. As you may well know, I've been using Ambition for quite some time. I've did a review on the Ambition Soldier and I've used the machine. I've done a review on the Ambition Torped and on the Ambition Mars that I've been still using up till today, and I really enjoy the part of it being wireless. But sometimes I feel like I want to use some of my older rotaries because I also really enjoyed working with these machines, but then I have to get my power supply out, my wires out, having it next to a wireless machine. And I thought, you know what, maybe I should get something that can make this machine wireless as well. So we're gonna dive down and have a look at what we got. So right over here we got the small little package. Let's open it up. And you can see we got a nice little battery grip over here. It comes with a RCA little wire that will go into your machine. Here you can obviously put it into your vise of your machine. You got a plus button, a power on button and a power down button. And this part here, you can adjust the needle depth. Now, what else comes in this package? You get 3 plunger bars in all different sizes. I'll lay them down. So there's a short one, a medium one, where I think I'm missing something. But that's alright, still works. And I get the larger one. Now this obviously has to do with what kind of machine you're using and how much distance it has to travel before it gets to the 5 screw. So this is always playing around and see whatever works best, and you get the best results in the needle depth. So obviously, just like any regular needle, you'll stick it through and it'll end up there. This is what you're going to connect to your armature bar on your machine, and this is where your cartridge is going to go. So just to show you, I'm going to plug it on to my equalizer ergo. So you put it in like so, then you hook this one onto your machine. This one has a nice little thing to click into, and then you should be all set. And this RCA connector goes right in here, and now your machine should work fully wireless. Obviously it's going to be with cartridges. If you want to use a regular needle instead of cartridges, you have to buy like the power bank. So yeah, let's turn it on and see if it actually works. Alright, so this at 8 volts. Slow it down or speed it up. It seems to work pretty nice. Now, I have to say, it doesn't come lubricated in the grip, and this is what probably makes the noise. So probably when you get this out of the package, just put a little bit of lubricant in the little hole where your plunger bar goes through, and it should probably fix the noise problem. But yeah, so that's for this machine. Works pretty nice. It's completely wireless. Let's show it with a cartridge, because you can put your cartridge in here. Okay, so we got the cartridge in. Let's level this out. Alright, so there she's going. And you can see that's running really nice. You can adjust the voltage. The only thing I don't really like about this grip is when you adjust it, it's gonna turn the needle around, which is no problem when you're using a pen, but in this case, you know, I always prefer to have my needle or my cartridge in like this. Okay, now if you're gonna turn it around, so it's basically upside down, what I would do is probably adjust the grip to go the other way. But then you will have the buttons right where you're holding, and I don't think you want to press something while you're in the middle of a line. So that's something that I'm a little bit concerned about with this grip. I would probably suggest, instead of using this, I now have the long bar on. When you run it, that it might be better to adjust the needle depth by moving the grip around, how you would do on regular needles, pretty much. But other than that, it's pretty nice. The grip itself is pretty lightweight. It's very comfortable, and you can use it like so. Now, maybe if you're using a machine like this, you're like, yeah, but you know, I can already use cartridges and I'll do it different. That's fine. This is just the way it works wireless. But maybe you're using something like a Dan Cuban or anything that has some springs on it or whatever. So I've got this one. Some of you may remember this machine from my real versus fake video. So let's see how this one is running with the cartridges. Now the only thing, this battery grip comes only with the RCA plug. So I bought a little converter plug so we can use it with a clip cord as well. This thing cost me only less than $1. It's a little much for that machine. See? And it's running nice and smooth. Now you pretty much have like a Sidewinder wireless setup without having to use an additional power bank. Now, if you're using a spring-loaded machine, so for example like the Sidewinder, what you might want to do is use a rubber band to get some of that tension from the cartridge off, because this is going to put a lot of tension on the springs on the machine. So what they would do is add a little rubber band like this, just so it reduces a little bit of that tension that the cartridge puts onto the springs. And then if you run in, it's a little nicer. And you can already feel that it's also hitting a bit harder now. So I would definitely recommend it if you are using a machine that has springs, like a Sidewinder setup, or maybe like the reverse setup from Dakey Irons or something like that, that you use a rubber band like this. Now, what kind of rubber band you have to use, there's not a set thing for it, because every spring on every cartridge is always a little bit different. So it's more like a play and fool around with it. If you insert your cartridge, you can see how much your armature bar is going back, and then just try to keep playing around with rubber bands so it's in the most neutral setting if you're using something like this. Now I've got one more machine that I want to show you where to use it with. So here we got the little Lithuanian iron setup, and this is a machine that I've been using for years as well. It's a really powerful machine. It's really good for lining, packing black, things like that. It's not so much of a soft shader because it has a really long stroke. I think it's about 5 or 6 millimeter stroke, so I think this is an awesome liner. And now I basically turned 3 of my old machines into a wireless machine, which I think is pretty cool. Now let's actually unhook it, because I want to talk a little bit more about the grip itself. Alright, so let's have another look at this grip. It's very, very light. It's a 1600 mAh battery inside. which they say it's gonna last anywhere between the 6 and the 8 hours. I believe that. It is the same for the Ambition pens. They also last forever. You can use them for a full day without any problems. Of course, if you use a really high voltage, it is gonna die on you a little bit faster than when you use a lower voltage. But if you use it at a high voltage, it might last 5 or 6 hours. If you use it at a low voltage, it might last you even longer than 8 hours. And it takes only 2 hours to charge, which I think is really nice. I think it's nice that you don't have to set up multiple machines sometimes, because you need different types of needles if you use standard needles. If you use a cartridge, it's nice that you can use it wireless. But, and there's a big but, what I really don't like about this machine is this part is pretty small. And I think most of us tattooers use the 2-inch grip tape or the 4.5 centimeter grip tape, and that will pretty much cover this all. Now if you cover the whole grip, you will not be able to see your buttons and see your display. So you might have to put plastic around this and then get a thinner grip tape to put some grip tape on this or something like that. You have to figure something out to keep this thing sanitary without disabling pretty much like your button, so you will not be able to use it. And one thing is that it only comes with a RCA plug, and you have to get an adapter to use it for a machine that might have a clip cord or maybe have a jack plug or something like that. So that's two things I don't really like. And the last thing, which I already said, is if you are adjusting this, it's gonna turn your needle around. Now, what I would have loved to see is if you would actually twist it from here and then adjust the needle depth, and then you will keep this on the top and the needle facing the right way as well, so it's not both crooked and then you end up holding the grip like this and accidentally pressing buttons while you're in a line or doing a bit of color or whatever. So that's 3 things that I think they could have done better. Other than that, I haven't really used this one a lot. I'm planning on using it a little bit more and probably video it for you guys. So yeah, is this thing worth buying? I think so, because if you're looking at, for example, the Inkclaw version of this, they are 250 something euros, and this one cost me about 40 or 50 euros, which I think is a good value for what it is, especially if you want to try out what it is to work wireless, or maybe if you work in conventions and you want to use something that's a little bit easier and you don't have to bring your power supply and your wires and worry about breaking something on your way there. This is a really cool thing just to be a little bit more maneuverable, so you can work in tight spaces and you don't have to worry about all your wires and your power supply. So yeah, that being said, I really think it's something fun. If you want to buy one of these products, I will link them in the description down below. So guys, thank you for watching. I think this product is probably a really good product if you are traveling a lot, or if you're working on a convention and you don't want to bring all your power supplies and wires and things like that. I hope you enjoy watching this video. If you did, now make sure you give me a thumbs up on the video and subscribe to my channel, because you will really help the channel out. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful day, and I see you in the next video.